There were some spectators at a tennis match. A third of them belonged to the tennis club. A sixth of those who did not belong to the club were adults and the rest were children. If there were 120 more children than adults who did not belong to the club, we're asked how many people belonged to the tennis club and how many spectators were there at the tennis match. Okay, well, I think this is going to be really nice and simple. And if you haven't actually tried to do this problem yet, why don't you pause the video and give it a go? I think you might find it easier than you think. But let's crack on. We're going to just do one bar. Okay, there is a comparison here, right, for which we could draw a second bar, but let's see how we get on. So I'm just going to do one bar. And why has it gone so giant now? I have no idea. So we're going to do one bar. There we go. And this is all the spectators. Okay, so this is all spectators. Okay. And it said that of these spectators, a third of them belonged to the tennis club. So I'm going to split this bar into thirds. Okay. And it says a third of them belonged to the club. So from here to here. All right. This is 1/3. Okay. They belong to the club. We can shade that in as well if we like. That's fine. And then it says 1/6 of those who did not belong to the club. Now, who are the ones? Now, if these are the people who belong to the club, these must be the people do not belong, okay, to the club. That's this bit here. All right, so making sure that we know what this is a sixth of. So 1/6 of this part of the total, okay, so this is the whole that we're talking about now, did not belong to the club, and it says 1/6 were adults. So we want to divide this bit. Let's get to it. This bit into sixths. Currently it's divided into halves if we look at this as the whole that we are considering now. So I am going to subdivide this. There we go. All right. And I now have the people who do not belong to the club divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because I want to keep my parts equal, and remember, this is just one of these original thirds, I'm going to do the same over here. All right. So 1/6 of the people who do not belong to the club are adults. Okay. I'm just going to write that in here. Here we go. Adults. And the rest were children. So children, 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 children. Okay. I think we've got everything. Now it says if there were 120 more children than adults who did not belong to the club, then we've got these questions. Now this is where you might decide whether you want to draw another little model underneath. I can see that there's one part adults, and if there was one part children, then there would be the same number as adults as children. This is the bit I can see that's more. Okay, this is the bit where there are more children. But if you weren't sure about this, you could say, okay, we've got the adults and we've got the children. The adults have one part and the children have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the bit that's more, of course, is here. And why is this important? Because we are given a value here of 120. Okay, that's 120, and it's 120 for these 4 parts. I've also can put it here, 120 for these 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So if we divide 120, if we divide that by 4, hopefully you will be able to do that easily, because 12 divided by 4 is really easy, isn't it? But this is 12 times 10. So the answer is going to be the same as 12 divided by 4 and then times the answer by 10. So 12 divided by 4 is 3 times 10 is 30. So we now know that each of these parts has a value of 30. Okay, we worked it out from this bit here, but all of the parts have a value of 30, and by that I mean they represent, in this model, they represent 30 people. Okay, so let's have a look. How many people belonged to the tennis club? Well, that's this section here. These are the people that belong to the tennis club. So we have 3 times 30, which equals 90. So that's the answer to that question. And how many spectators were there at the tennis match? Well, that's everybody. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we are going to do 9 times 30. 9 times 30. Okay, and what's that going to be? You can do that in your head. I'm sure you know that 9 times 3 is 27. And this is 9 times 3 times 10. So 9 times 3 is 27, times 10 is 270. So that is our answer. So I think this was just very easy myself. If you just followed everything along, I don't think there was anything particularly difficult about this, but it looked a bit tricky, didn't it? And 2 questions to answer. But that's the power of the model, showing you what it is that you need to do.